things will definitely go according to plan this week on Hapless Heroes.
This is the best time to ask, who has dark vision? Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco, and tonight I am your host and DM as we continue our adventure and get into the real dungeons part of Dungeons and Dragons, if there is such a thing and still in space. But before we do that, I'm going to introduce my cast like we do every week, starting on my virtual left. They're all oriented in weird ways on my video screen. We have Dave playing March.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
John playing Jam Jam.
Jam Jam is bored.
Lewis as Lev Zangief.
We are going to hit something soon, Jam Jam.
Mike as Brunner Brew Blitzbor.
Boredom is a choice.
Nicole as Glorp Glup Glup.
How can you be bored? We're in space.
And Sebastian as Chum de Loom.
Do you think these nuts that I grabbed from the bottom are important?
So when we last left off, we were on a shuttle heading towards the Merion Cluster, which is a system in the DMZ between the Crimson Imperium and the New Federation's systems. You were tasked by the flotilla to essentially board this abandoned station, extract some data, even though the station is not powered currently because it has been sort of damaged by the war that kind of happened or ended about 30 years ago. You are to essentially land, try to find a way to turn the power back on, extract the data, get out of there. Don't make a scene. Try to so that no one kind of is called to attention that the fact that you are here. We left off with you. We were just about to enter the system, where we kind of just took a brief moment because March wanted to try to, before entering another system, you wanted to do something with that little flash drive that you have. And I remember you plugged that into a tiny little computer setup you had put together on the ship. Everyone in the room, everyone in this part of the ship saw you do this, saw your little power gauntlet, arcane focus thing spark. But only you and you alone heard in your mind the words just Project Q shouted in your mind by some disembodied voice. Everyone else in the room is able to react into seeing your reaction, which is, I guess I'll let you describe that, but no one hears what you've just heard. So we're going to be entering the ship again. There was that, hey, 5 minutes and we're going to be entering wild space. So just make your preparations. We're about to be going back into real space. So right about as we're about to enter this system, you see that this spark from March's gauntlet, with the keyboard and all that stuff all over it. And, he kind of recoils from this little mini computing device that he had set up on a table downstairs in the second or the first level of this shuttle.
Is there a name for the internet equivalent, or is it just the internet?
Galnet.
Galnet. Right.
Am I in the same room as March when the spark happens?
Yeah, I believe you were because you were reading something downstairs because you would have answered the intercom that was on the wall there, and you'd try to reach a pseudopod over to touch it, right? It was a whole thing.
Is it a significant amount of spark?
Yeah, it would be definitely noticeable as you would see him visibly recoil from the device he set up.
Oh.
Is there a fire hydrant near me? Not fire hydrant, sorry, fire extinguisher.
Yes.
Let me roll something.
Yes.
No, there is not.
Damn.
I do not shoot March with a fire extinguisher.
Thank you. Thank you. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my blackened little heart.
You okay?
I just had some sudden revelations as to why Galnet was born.
What's a Galnet? I'm kind of a boomer.
I mean, Shum, you would know. I mean, you can feign ignorance, I guess, but like you would know what Galnet is, having lived aboard the raft now for about 8 months or so, right? Like that is the
I forgot I have all the social
galactic
medias.
internet. Yes, right.
Yep. You figured out how the internet was or the Galnet was born?
Just why? Strange train of thought thing. I think I had the first half of that conversation in my head. It was in show tunes. It was not good. Does anybody have any ideas about a Project
I love
Q?
show tunes.
Project Q.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, since we're all just kind of looking at you,
I will say, the Project Q was the thing that you were tasked with getting information about. The data you are trying to retrieve has to do with Project Q. You were instructed, though, to not open or attempt to read or decrypt the information that you are getting about it. You were just told that you need to be looking for folders or files, pertaining to Project Q. That is the data you have been tasked to recover.
damn, 2 weeks did a number, however long the break was, did a number on
Yeah,
my
our holiday
short-term
break.
memory,
What do you mean? We already came back from our holiday break, Seb. It's been
What do you mean?
It's been several weeks since then.
Oh, right, the vampire.
The vampire.
Yes. Proxy Keen.
So that was that's the job, that's the task, right? Project Q. Why? What do you ask?
What kind of vampire starts with Q? Vampire?
Quampire.
I
Definitely
don't
a
know,
Quampire.
like Quiermo or something? I don't know.
Project Cuervo.
Yeah,
Has a nice ring to it.
Cuervo.
Cuervo. Ooh.
I like this. I like this a lot.
All right, now that we've renamed the mission that we're on, why did you ask?
Yes,
So
what do you know
something that-
about Project Cuervo that you aren't telling us?
I'd say it popped into my head, but I feel like that sort of undersells the severity of how it happened. So I'm just gonna operate under the assumption that none of the rest of you heard it, because if you did, one of you might not be looking at me like I'm from another planet, which, yes.
You are.
I am, but could you stop its profiling? And I don't really stand for that.
Chum's face changes nothing.
Yeah, Love just kind of blinks a couple times.
So no, nobody heard Project Q blasted in, really loud, like super serious tones, while I was getting the shit shocked out of me by fucking, oh shit! He dives down, finally just realizing mid-sentence that one of his computers that he's been building by hand for years and carrying around with him has just gone up in a puff of smoke and spark.
Yep, it's not looking good. The drive itself, you can see, is unscathed inside of the port, but the port itself has sort of melted slightly. It doesn't look like it would be usable. In fact, like if you were to jiggle that little flash drive, like you could just easily pull it out. Like it's not really being held in there anymore. It's kind of fried whatever internals were inside of the computing device it was holding this in place.
Damn. Gotta be careful when you go on those sites, man. That's not good for your computers.
So you hear as an interruption to this conversation that's happening right now, you hear another announcement over the intercom from Mulligan saying, T-minus 30 seconds till entry into wild space. I would strap yourselves in, and if this is not a journey you've made very often, I would prepare for a little mild nausea as we enter.
Oh boy. Chum's gonna go into the very small seat on the shuttle and lock himself in.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll also take a seat and lock myself in. Why not? If there's landing gear like that in here.
I'm not a therapist or good with computers, so I don't think I can help Rabbit over there.
It's all right. I start strapping myself in while rummaging through a bag. Pulls out a small silver and black case.
Ooh, mysterious.
And then pulls out a scroll of calm emotions from that.
So it's like,
Anybody,
is it in like a little
he's
mini
literally
bottle?
offering them around.
Nice.
Like, yeah, if this is your first time re-entering properly, you're gonna need one.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
what the hell?
Oh yeah, there's a party now.
Oh my god. So March sparks up a scroll of calm emotions and passes it around as y'all strap yourselves in. A couple of you will have to go back up the ladder, right, to strap yourselves in up there, because I remember mentioning there was a limited number of seats all over the place, right? We guys had to spread out a little bit throughout the ship. So I forgot who mentioned they were going to be in these like the upper level of the ship behind the cockpit, but I'm just going to kind of take it as read. Probably everyone is gone at this point now to strap themselves in. And you kind of feel this almost like it's very subtle, the shift when you cross from the astral sea back into wild space once more. You've experienced this on a larger scale as the flotilla has traveled, but this was a bit of a long journey. Long journey chronologically, like time chronologically speaking, right? But I did mention, right, there are some things that get suspended when you are in the astral sea, which I would love to go into more detail about, but I can wax poetic about that either another time or in one of our Patreon bonus episodes to kind of get into how we've kind of written that. But suffice it to say, I need everybody on the ship to make Constitution saving throws, please.
How many?
No, all of you make one Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay, you said throws. That's what,
Yes, because multiple throws are being done, just one for each of you.
I just wanted to be
Con save. Ooh.
Just gonna go around. So let's start with March. What do you got?
18 on the die, no modifier.
Okay. Jam Jam,
19.
Lev,
13.
Brew.
It is a nat 1.
I love that. Glorp.
19 on the die, and that's one of the ones I'm proficient in, so 21.
And Choom.
That's a dirty, nasty, filthy 12.
Good.
Good.
Okay. Well, Brew.
Yes.
And we'll even say, where was the 12 again?
I think that was Jam Jam.
Jam Jam, right? The 13?
I had a 13.
13 was Lev.
Yeah.
You had the 12.
Choom had the 12.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to start with Choom and Lev, actually, then. Both of you feel, as you kind of like enter back into a wild space, a little uneasy. Like your stomachs are kind of twisting and turning a little bit as sort of like your biological functions unpause. It's not as if the last several weeks are catching up to you biologically. It's more so that you've spent the last several weeks not having to worry about some of those, I guess, biological needs that your body has, right? You haven't necessarily had to eat. I mean, you snacked if you just decided to, but there wasn't really any, like, you know what I mean? There's those hunger pangs wouldn't have gotten any worse or better. Same with like thirst and even other needs like having to use a restroom and whatnot. But you're feeling a little off. So I'm going to say that for the next hour or so, and I guess we'll determine when that is. Probably just for the remainder of this particular session, or the first part of our little adventure here. We're going to give you a -1 penalty to your ability checks.
Woof.
Brew.
So
Brew,
can I explain why this might have happened?
Sure.
Brew, being the just great guy that he is, he was kind of going around just making sure everyone else was seated, had their seatbelts on,
Like the dude
and
on the roller
decided
coaster.
he had to climb the ladder to get to his seat, so he was the last one to get to his seat. So just making sure everyone else was safe, everyone else was good to go, and got caught up in the moment.
I love that. In fact, since you've specifically mentioned you were helping everyone else get into their seats, I will go ahead and scratch the -1 penalty for your other two companions. However, you, Brew, will be making a -2 penalty to all of your ability checks and saves for the next hour, as you feel physically ill.
Oh no!
Look at this guy trying to get the moral high ground out of yelling at his shoes.
I was gonna say this is the consequence of playing your character the way.
No, I love this for you. I mean, I absolutely love this for you. What I will say that to balance things out, because I love nat ones and things like that, you have a severe penalty, but I will give you a temporary boon of inspiration for this.
Oh yeah!
Here. So.
So it'll bounce out one
penalty.
of my dice rolls. Got it.
Absolutely, right? I feel like it's only fair you played to your character, you're helping your companions, with their traveling needs, right? You're trying to make sure everyone's set, and you forgot to consider yourself, I like that. It's a very selfless action. Well done.
Hell yeah.
Wonderful.
But now we've entered the Merion system. After a few moments, Mulligan exits the cockpit again, and he says, okay, we are on cruising course for the facility. We are, just to give you some background, we are heading towards the United Research Collective base in orbit around Merion 4. This place, as far as I know, has been abandoned since the war, so it's been about 30 years since this place has seen anything besides maybe the odd scavenger or two. I'd be willing to bet that the place has been rather picked clean, at least anything that was accessible in its current state. However, there is a hangar bay that I should hopefully be able to touch us down in. I'm just kind of hoping the doors are still open, or at least are have been forced open. When we get in, I'm going to be giving you all just some suits to wear, as while the power is out, there's not going to be a whole lot of air or gravity to speak of. These jumpsuits that you're going to be putting on do have mag boots attached to them. We have been given all sizes to fit all of you here. The flotilla does provide.
Damn straight.
I will say that if you haven't done any sort of low grav or no grav walks before, the mag boots are going to take some getting used to. As the DM to the players, while the mag boots are engaged and simulating gravity for you, it's essentially like everything is difficult terrain. You're kind of walking as if it's like you're kind of like walking through mud, because of the fact that without power and without the systems to generate it, the only gravity plane that's really going to exist is the one that's going to be around the planet that's kind of pulling or keeping things in orbit, and the one that's projected by the ship. Right, the facility itself is gonna be a little messed up. Same with air. So he continues. There's also going to be an O2 tank attached to each of these suits. Should give you all about an hour's worth of air before we have to come refill. I should have plenty. I should have enough. The ship should be good enough to continue to refill you guys for the length of this adventure. I don't foresee us being here long enough that we need to worry about replenishing our air supply. But just remember, you have very limited air. If you take your helmets off or anything like that, you got about a minute or so before you're out of air. So just be mindful. Okay, this is vacuum until we get the air envelopes, generators, and power back on.
Cannot state enough how underqualified I feel we are all for this. Puts helmet on.
Hey, the flotilla saw something in you, so I'm choosing to believe in you too. Maybe you should try a little bit of that yourself.
Oh yeah, hope really does good when you run out of air.
Yeah. Hey,
breathe
speaking
hope
of
in.
seeing something's in, did anybody see like a carafe or a decanter, something of coffee before we start this?
Oh, I got some instant coffee I can put together for you guys if you need some coffee.
Oh my gosh, you would be like my own personal Lord and Savior for some coffee. Holy crap! I will literally make you like my personal religion right now.
Yeah. So Mulligan goes downstairs or down the ladder to the to the first level. Opens up some little lockers and cupboards, things like that. Pulls out a small kettle, a few cups, a few rows of cups. Pours, just a couple packets of what looks like instant coffee. Just puts them inside of the the mugs, boils the water, fills them up. We all share a coffee before we arrive at the United Research Collective facility.
I'm good.
Brew passes. Yeah, he's not feeling too great.
March will drink anyone's coffee who doesn't.
It's all yours. Caffeine and me
Good.
don't mix.
Good.
Yeah.
And he's standing there like at the breakfast table with like 2 joints in between the fingers on his left hand, and he is just plowing through coffees.
That's actually really impressive.
Like, well, this is a secret right here. Like, this is the secret. Like, if you're gonna be hacking like in like difficult anyway, it's these until your hand starts shaking, gesturing with the coffee, and then these until they stop. And that's the second they stop. That is right where you're looking to be.
Look back
It's all in
at Mulligan.
hands.
I have all the faith in the world. Let's go.
Glurp
Right, so-
took one sip of his coffee and then seeing March just slid the cup across the table and backed away a couple steps.
Oh, I would look at Brew and just be like, "Oh, you look a little paler than usual. You all right there, bud?"
Well, I don't normally look pale at all, but I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay.
Right.
You very much are not doing okay. Your stomach is in knots. You feel dizzy. You feel like your equilibrium is off. You are very much not okay.
I'm
saying that
I'll
to
be
you.
fine. I'll be
Yeah,
fine.
Okay.
This is gonna
Okay.
go great. Nothing could possibly go wrong.
After a few moments, I will say that on the screens in the ship, as well as if anyone were to look at any of the portholes, the planet of Merion 4 comes into view.
Whoa.
The Merion system, right? You're entering from the edge of the system, so you're kind of approaching, from the outer edge, kind of going in towards the sun. So the Merion 4 and between Merion 4 and Merion 3, there's a large asteroid belt. This belt, some of the debris and whatnot, maybe over the millennia of however long the solar system has existed. Merion 4 has developed a bit of a ring around it as well, probably from stray debris of different things like that. Floating around in this system. The belt itself, you can see on like the system map that's come up on some of the screens in the ship, seems to be where the research station is. It appears to actually, now that you're looking, the screen's kind of showing more details, right? It's essentially a research station that's been built into like a medium-sized like asteroid, or that's been like a hunk of rock essentially that's orbiting as part of this ring around Merion 4. So as you're approaching, the ship's getting closer, and Mulligan's like, okay, well, I gotta go back in just to engage some manual control now that we're out of cruise. I'll get you guys, we'll get you touchdown. Start getting into your suits, and we'll be on the ground shortly. So, he points you to the lockers. You can see that there's spacesuits of, varying sizes to fit all of you. All of you take a few moments to get suited up, I think. Glorp, I forget, do you have to breathe?
I mean, Glorp can hold their breath for an hour. 1 hour. But if Glorp was given a spacesuit.
Yes. Okay. No, that's why I'm making sure that there is a spacesuit for you. Like, I forgot about plasmoids and breathing. So, okay, cool. So all of you take a moment to don your spacesuits, and you can see as we're pulling up, there's this massive, sort of circular hangar bay. There are several, what appears to be massive bay doors that have been opened, kind of around the circumference of it. You can see from the outside of this research base to the, if you were looking at looking head on at it from where the hangar bay is, you can see that there are some structures or some parts, poking up on the top. But there's probably some more stuff that, is actually set into the asteroid itself. You can see that there are some ruined structures and some chunks that appear to have been blown off of this research base to the right of the hangar bay. You're not sure from this distance, what facilities or what those might have been, but you can tell that the system has taken some damage from some large caliber, like spaceship weapons at some point in the past. The hangar bay itself looks mostly intact, although you can definitely see that there are some panels and things like that from like the ceiling of it essentially that have been either have fallen or were destroyed or whatnot, because you can kind of see a little bit inside. The shuttle, because of its small size, is easily able to kind of navigate through those open bay doors and kind of touches down on one of the many empty landing pads inside of this hangar bay. Looking out of the portholes, you can see that there's no other, like, I guess, ships in here, which is a good thing. It would be kind of strange if there were. There are many of different, like, crates, and like you can kind of see like a lot of service arms and different things that hang in from the ceilings, and, you know, rafters, scaffolding. This is a very large, like, hangar bay. But it does appear that it has, you know, it's been quite some time since anyone has stepped foot into here. And the last people that stepped foot in here were definitely some sort of scavengers, because this place appears, at least from the hangar bay already, to have been picked clean of anything that could be potentially salvageable aside from the structure itself. So, you know, as this touches down, right, Mulligan says, "Okay, well, I'll keep the engine running. Come back here if you need to refill your air, because as soon as you move a few, you know, about, you know, probably outside of the range of this hangar bay, where air and gravity are done for you. And so you got to rely on the suits. Okay? Clear?
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Here's some he hands you know, like a walkie-talkie looking device. You know, for local transmission, if you need to get, you know, relay any information back to the ship, I'll keep one here and one of you take it, please.
Nice. I will take that. Thank you.
Yes,
Jeff.
of course, Lev as the communication master. Okay.
Is it like an ear thing or is it a walkie-talkie?
It's like a handheld, like a walkie-talkie.
Okay, gotcha.
Kind of, like a two-way radio.
What do our suits look like?
They're just like, they look almost like orange jumpsuits with like a big bubble helmet.
We're all orange. Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And there's like a little flotilla like symbol. It just looks like a big, you know, like a flying saucer with like a star like behind, you know, a big like a cross star behind it.
How does my horn work in this thing?
Your horn?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
Had to fold it up.
Well, they would have fitted these things for you, so
I was going to ask about
it's just a gigantic like orb around your head. I'm assuming that, or it's been like, or maybe
like a
it's more like
teardrop
oval
or something.
It's like oval shaped, right? Yeah. So you look like
it tapers towards the top,
like the Eldar in 40K, like how they have those. Some of them have like those like long helmets. That's kind of what I imagine this looks like for you.
Well, I was imagining like mine almost like vacuum locked onto my horns, so like my horns are still sticking out of the helmet, but like it was still like
there's like a little vacuum seal that exists there. Yeah,
they
sure.
don't need to breathe.
Yeah.
Horn gaskets.
Are there holsters for our weapons and stuff on the suits?
Yes.
I would like to do that.
Yeah. So you arrange and holster your weapons as needed, because it's essentially just wearing this over, you know, whatever you're already wearing. This kind of is just a jumpsuit you kind of climb into.
I shake Jeff's hand.
You keep calling him Jeff, but you know, again, his name is Mulligan, and no point has he introduced himself to you as Jeff.
It's his nickname.
But sure. Well, yeah. He shakes your hand. Okay.
I've learned that I turned to Chum. I have learned that humans like nicknames.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Jeff was like an okay pilot. He deserves a name like Jeff.
I'm right here, you know.
Oh, still?
And you have been doing wonderful, I think. Don't listen to him, Jeff.
Mm-hmm. Wait, these comms working?
Oh boy. So you know you're guided towards, again, like the loading bay area of your shuttle. The like ramp kind of descends down with this, you know, like that hydraulic sort of hiss, right? Sound. And you are now looking out into the you know, this empty, like, massive hangar bay. You can see, so if we were going to say that you entered the hangar bay in from, I guess, the, if we're going to use, like, north, south, east, west as sort of a way to arrange, like, a map, if any of you want to draw along as I'm describing things to you, right? Because I did draw a map for this. I prepared for a fucking thing for the first time in a long time. You know, I want to just be able to describe things as using the cardinal directions to kind of help orient, you know, where things are located. So,
are we starting from south to north or north to south?
So, what do you mean? So you're actually starting on the most east or western part of the northwestern part of the facility, from at least from what you can tell.
Okay.
The hangar, you entered in from like the western side, essentially, right? So the hangar bay doors would have been on that side. So as you enter in, right, and land to the west would be the door, those massive bay doors. Then there appear to be two, like double doors with like the little like little glass rectangles, so you can kind of see through them, right? They seem to be like push doors or potentially automated doors, or
to
both.
the north.
To actually the northeast section, there's an exit out of here, as well as one to the south. There is another exit. There appear to be some signs next to each of the doors. You'd have to walk up to each of them to know where they go, because this is a massive hangar bay. You would have to kind of like get a little closer to inspect any of the text or things that are written, like any of the signage that would be guiding you. However, there appear to be some walking paths that you can see that had been painted here at some point in time, right? Because floor markings, and most of the arrows seem to be pointing you towards the south, towards what appear to be security.
What color are the arrows?
Those would be white. Then there's a set of yellow arrows that are going towards that northeastern door that I talked about.
Okay, the white arrows are security. Gotcha. And those go south, you said?
Yes. So other than that, right, again, the bay's walls are sort of this blend of like metal and reinforced composite materials. You can see clearly the scars of war, like blast marks and scorch marks, kind of as part on the walls inside of this hangar bay. But it is mostly intact. The ceiling kind of arches above you, right, with some of those sections and panels missing. You can see on the ground here, some of those panels are laying, kind of like broken and in disrepair. You can see that, kind of all through the structure of this, though, on the inside, there are like conduits and panels that are lining the walls. So you can see that obviously, right, their power would run through here. There is clearly an absence of power at this time. And then those, like I said, those prominent exits that are showing there.
Are there any other lights, like emergency lights going on at all?
No, it is dark otherwise. It's got this, you can kind of see the gravity envelope of the ship that landed, right, if your shuttle extends just about to the doors, but if you were to look closely, you can actually see that outside of that gravity envelope, there is still dust and debris hanging in the air. You can clearly see where the shuttle's gravity envelope ends before the room completes, because outside of that gravity envelope, there is still debris and dust floating in the air. Inside of that gravity envelope, all the dust and debris has settled now onto the ground, at least for now. Which kind of gives it a bit of like an eerie look, right? You can literally see where like vacuum begins.
Oh boy, this is ominous. All right, so what are we gonna do? Maybe get some power back to this place?
I checked the the walkie-talkie. Did a little check.
Yes, this is Mulligan, over.
Are you getting any, wait, who is this?
Mulligan, your pilot.
Okay,
Come on, don't do this right now.
Do you, are you getting any readings anywhere on ship in any direction? Power readings, life readings?
Let me check. There's a brief silence. No power readings necessarily. I'm getting a little bit of a something. Maybe it's hard to tell. With part of this facility being inside of the asteroid, I think that I'm getting some interference. But I'm willing to bet that the facilities for power and things like that would be on a lower level.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Over.
What, well, we could go to security. We could go, for some reason.
Are the ship doors open yet? Like, can we exit our craft?
You've stepped down now into the hangar bay. Like you are, I'm just saying, you guys are all standing right now just at the foot of the ramp that you have exited your ship from until you tell me what direction you want to go.
How far is it to the north one?
How far is it? I mean, it's over 100 feet away. Like, you mean it's a massive hangar bay. You'd have to just walk towards either, follow the arrows essentially right on the ground, or just walk straight towards either one of those doors. It's up to you which way you guys want to go. You just tell me.
Which one looks more like a main quest path and which one looks more like a side quest path?
I can't answer that question when you ask it like that.
Jam will walk towards the north one to try to read what it says.
Is that the only double door? The north one?
No, they're both double doors. So the north one,
Double door.
as you walk closer to it, you see that it is shut. There appears to be an access card reader next to the door, and it is labeled with waste management, water recycling, and storage, like loading bay.
Jam will turn to the group. It does not seem like this is the way to the power supply.
So there's a northeast door. Is that the one that he just checked?
That's the one he just went to.
Okay. And then there's a south door, and then we came in through the west, which I assume is just a big hole in the ship.
Big. It's essentially it's like these big hangar bay doors that have been like almost stuck. They're like stuck open.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just the south really then. If we don't want to go towards the waste.
Waste management, water recycling, and it says like loading bay, like storage bay.
And you might think that sort of thing. As March is like actively tampering with a few wires that are going into his helmet that has kind of gone a flat gray. Waste management's exactly the sort of thing you'd label a place where you don't want people to go, because, they won't. Nobody's trying to go to the dump, right?
Oh, I forgot something as well.
Well, speak for yourself.
I need to briefly retcon something, and by retcon I mean remind myself that I said I was going to give you something. One thing that Mulligan also provided to you was a couple of like portable battery units that you could use to provide, brief local power to something, or maybe to jumpstart a device or something like that, right? So that there is at least some form of power with you. They're small, handheld, right? There's like a little carrying handle, and then like the two like connection ports, right, for you to clamp some stuff to. Who wants to be responsible for the portable batteries?
Jam will take those, I guess.
Okay.
You lost me at responsible.
It's just a pair of them. They can't power anything for very long, but should be enough to, I guess, just get a brief jump of power to something. I wouldn't necessarily waste them on like small or things for too long, right? But it should be enough, at least for your needs, to give temporary power to a device or a thing, if you can figure out how to splice the cables or jump it like that. Which, there's a few electronics experts here. We should have no problem with that. Well, let's hope.
Well, let's hope. I kind of picking up what you're putting down, March. Let's read the other door just so we know.
Yeah, reading's fundamental, right?
Yeah, you walk a little closer to the door to the south. You see that it is labeled as security, offices, briefing room, mess hall.
All right. None of these are helpful for restoring power, but maybe we can get what we're looking for.
I mean, if you're going to keep power somewhere, you're going to keep it near the utilities. That's just like, building layouts like 101. But
looks like garbage.
As you've gotten closer to the southern door, you notice that it's actually partially ajar. Like it opens from the center and like into the wall, right? And it's like stuck. It seems to be stuck in like a partially open state. Like it would
southern
almost
door?
the southern door. Like almost like a malfunction happened at some point, and the door has sort of been like stuck into this like partially open. Like not enough for anyone to really fit through. Maybe Choom could if you squeeze through there. Like it's not like a huge gap, right? But it'd be one of those things where you may have to force it open. It doesn't look, what I mean? It's like you may have to just like kind of pull the doors apart to force those to open.
All right, so what do you guys want to do?
I'm up for a challenge of opening door.
I was gonna say there's two big guys standing right here. We might as well try.
Yeah, there is.
All right, Lev, would you like to make me a strength check then to try to force the door open?
Yes, I would.
With 4 arms, because it's badass.
Yep, grabs all four limbs, grabs it, and he starts heaving.
I rolled a 21.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
There's sort of this like metallic creak, as like there must be some sort of internals in the inside of the door walls where like the right side, even with all of your strength, you barely are able to push that in, but the left side slides in effortlessly. So you're able to all kind of at least enter through these doors. if you wanted to head south.
Good job, bud.
All right.
That was awesome.
Thank you. And I'm just like cracking I lurch my lower back
exoskeleton
inward.
cracking.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Sound like a
Is it
rattlesnake.
cracking or crunching? Yeah.
Crunch.
Yeah, both. All of the noises.
You need to see a chiropractor, friend.
I'm too old for witchcraft.
All right,
I
so
don't
are
know.
we
If
going?
it's his outsides, maybe he needs like a welder or something.
Pulls out flame torch or welding torch, puts it back. So we going south or we going west?
It'd be funny if you opened the door and then didn't go through it, right?
I mean, we want our options.
I mean,
do we
yeah,
see?
but
What do we see?
we opened the door right in front of us. We're gonna look like jackasses to the audience if we don't go walking through this thing, right?
Do we not
I mean,
see
I
anything?
am a jackass.
Oh yeah, you can see something if you look through. I mean, it's dark.
I just yeah.
But
I'm
not
actually,
pretty
hold
sure
on,
something is some-
wait. This is the best time to ask who has dark vision.
I'm pretty sure I do.
Fuck.
Nope.
I do. I can see within 60 feet right now.
So Lev has dark vision. Does Jam Jam have dark vision? No. Do Harangon have dark vision? I wonder. March.
Look, right now I barely got like regular vision.
Okay, so that's a no. Do Minotaurs have dark vision? Brew.
Nope.
Did we make a whole
Even
party
as
without dark
Labyrinth
vision?
Wanders, they
Galore.
don't have dark
Like,
vision.
I know-
That's crazy.
I mean, like, I know where I'm going if I've been there before. So because darkness doesn't allow me to know what it looks like beforehand, it really doesn't help me.
I see.
Lorp does have dark vision.
So Glorp does have dark vision. You said? Okay.
Yes, I did. Glorp also has light.
Oh. The cantrip.
So useful. Thank you.
And Choom does not have dark vision. I saw you.
Choom
shaking your
does
head.
not have dark
So
vision.
we only have 2 dark vision people in this party. That makes me supremely happy. I can actually use darkness for the first time in a long time. So yes, Lev, since you do have dark vision, you can see right beyond the doors to your left. So that would be on the northern side. There is the security office. There's like a big glass window. You can see that there's like a desk back there with like some like computer, like some like I don't know buttons and screens built into like a desk panel sitting in there, which you assume may have been maybe security cameras and things like that.
This is a room off to the left, or this is up ahead
Yes,
to the left?
It's essentially like it's flush with the wall to your left as you open the door, right? So the
Okay,
security
gotcha. Like it's a
office is
console
right there.
in the wall or
It's
something?
enclosed. You can see through the window that the door is around so there's actually this hallway only extends about 30 feet, and then it's a T intersection.
Okay.
That goes left and right. And then straight ahead, you actually can also see what appears to be at that T intersection appears to be elevators, like elevator doors. And then to the right doesn't appear to be anything, at least that you can see, except for that there's that path that goes off to the right.
Okay.
On the ceiling, there appears to be a deactivated, because you can see it's kind of just hanging down, kind of almost like limp, is a automated like a security turret.
Nice.
And a camera that is pointed towards the door, except the turret is again just kind of pointed down towards the ground. It doesn't have any power or anything like that, right? So
Interesting.
Mhm.
I turn to March and I say, "Do you think we could take that for home? It would look good in living room, no?"
Yeah.
I love that idea.
He's looking at that, and anybody looking at him would be able to see. For some reason, his bubble is a completely opaque gray. He's holding his kind of power glove thing up in front of it. Yeah, I'm trying to look something up here. Actually, the player himself is trying to look up text of a spell.
Love that.
Love that.
I just gotta find where on earth in the modern manual I left it.
Okay, so just so that I'm making sure, it's a T intersection. In front of us is an elevator. To the left, we can't see left or right, but it does shoot off to the left and right in both hallways.
Yes.
And then there's a door to our left that leads to the security office.
Well, yeah, you can kind of see again, like you're like looking through this this pane of glass, right, that looks into the security office. You can you imagine this would be used for people to as sort of like a secure checkpoint, right? It's probably like bulletproof glass or something like that.
Okay.
Through the glass, you can see on I guess what would be considered the southern wall of the security room. That's where the door is that would lead into that hallway where the T intersection is, right? Does that make sense?
That does, yes. Makes much more sense now, yep.
Okay. That's what you see
cool.
right now in this corridor. For those of you who do not have dark vision, you're going to need a source of light to really make out much because it is pretty dark once we are leaving this hangar bay area. You don't really have the glow of like the light reflecting off of the planet to like kind of guide you. So it's going to get a lot darker as we enter the facility. So Glorp, I'm not sure if you're choosing to cast light on something or someone.
Yeah, I mean, Shum was the most vocal about not being able to see anything, right? Or really the only person that's actually been
Yeah, I have two
vocal and complaining
disadvantages.
about that.
It's really dark, and you guys are much bigger than me. And there's no assurance that you're not going to step on me.
So you have to choose an object to cast it on, right? So like it could be his gun, it could be...
I have a giant monkey wrench.
Oh, none of that seems any fun. Glorp is going to reach down and just touch Chum, like on the chest, and light up Chum's entire spacesuit, or like the orange jumpsuit. So it's glowing almost like a snappy glow stick, like fluorescent orange.
This is so cool.
Sure,
Guys,
I love it.
Look, glowing monkey.
Yeah, so now your glowing
Nice.
monkey is essentially a source of light for all of you. Right,
What's
Chum,
the
you are now radiating essentially 30 feet of, was it bright light? And then another 30 feet of dim light.
My mom told me I could be
bright
whatever I
lights.
wanted.
Sorry, 10 feet of bright light.
And then another 20 feet of dim. Yeah.
So 30
Nice.
feet of light total. Okay.
So now we got a little more illumination in here. What's this thing hanging from the ceiling here? Now that I could take a better look at it and know
So
what I might use at
it
it.
is it looks like a long security turret. It's sort of anchored by like a U bracket almost from the ceiling. The barrel of this turret is probably like 4 feet long. And you can see that there's some wires and things like that seem to connect it into the ceiling.
All right.
It looks very unwieldy. Like this is not something you can probably wield like in your hands. This is something that was sort of configured to operate. But if anything, give me maybe an investigation check.
I'm
like
gonna
this.
put my hand on March's shoulder and cast guidance.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. Add a D4
All right.
too.
What?
Get a little bit of help
what-
in this investigation here.
That's got to be
So-
an older model for sure.
So what do I get from the guidance there?
D4.
Plus 1d4. The glowing monkey provides.
Yes, he does. Provides the pointiest of the dice. There we go. Okay, so we got a 15 on the D20, plus 6 for investigations, a 21, plus another 2 for the D4. So that's 23 total.
Beautiful. So this is definitely some sort of like energy turret. Like it would shoot out probably some sort of beam of a thing. Like there's no projectiles. You can see that there's nowhere where ammunition would have been loaded, right? So the ammunition must be just like provided through the power that is run into the device. So without power, it's useless.
Okay, so we got no power in here unless we want to hook one of the batteries up to it or something like that, which we could do. But I'm wondering, and I mean, this is entirely hypothetical about the size of this thing. Like, if I were to, and I'm not naming any specific examples here or anything, but if we were to say, like, JB welded to the back of a certain large beetle person we know. And just saying, like, allegedly.
Allegedly.
That I would what?
And then I could probably rig up one of those battery packs to it if you really wanted to, turret some people or things.
Like, I mean, I hate to outsource this sort of thing. Like, look, if I could lug this thing around, I would. Like, I am all about like just carrying massive carnage around, but I mean, like, I got to be a little self-sacrificing here. Like, it is just, it's I ain't got the build for it. Is what I'm saying. So I might as well, if somebody else wants the gratuitous violence fountain here, they can have it.
No, that makes sense. I mean, plane is right there.
I'm going to use my mag boots and walk, if I can, up the wall onto the ceiling.
Does not work that way. Mag boots essentially simulate a gravity envelope. So your gravity plane is essentially flush with the ground. That's all it's helping you. It's all it's helping you do.
Can I turn them off?
Sure.
I'm gonna.
We have now entered a state of weightlessness.
Turn off my mag boots. And
according to my DM screen, any melee attacks you do in a weightless environment are at disadvantage unless they're with a piercing weapon.
Okay.
And you would have to essentially, for movement, push yourself off of something, right, in order to gain any sort of momentum or be able to move at all.
Right. Hey, Brew. Can you toss me?
So the way it says essentially is that you have to be able to push yourself off of, or essentially receive force from something that is heavier than you.
I'm going to receive
in order
some force.
to move up to your movement in a straight line.
I'm now floating head level with Brew. How's your arm, big boy? Throw me at the turret.
So, what am I doing? I'm just throwing you.
It will take 0 effort.
All right,
no rolls necessary. He is weightless, technically.
Brace yourself, duder.
Oh, I forgot about that.
No, this is great.
I'm also
Continue.
-2. But okay.
He said he's feeling fine.
You're welcome. I'm gonna take my my hoofed hand and I'm going to kind of give him a good heave.
I'm gonna swim through the air.
I think he
Did you
was
just yeet
technically the
yourself?
one who was yoked.
Okay. After
That's the
being
new quote. Yoke
after
me.
being yeeted towards this,
I did the
this
yeeting.
turret, right? You're able to latch yourself onto it. You can see that it's it's being held in place with these sort of big bolts on a U sort of like a U bracket. You might be able to take some time to unfasten this, but then you'd also have to unhook all the wires and all the things that are kind of running up into the ceiling as well, right? It's being suspended by a whole bunch of stuff. I will also say that while you're up here and looking at this thing, could you make me a perception check, please?
Yes, I can. I perceive with a 19.
You can see that there's some branding written on the side of the barrel, and it just says Warlockheed in Marvin.
Would that mean anything to me?
Make me a history check.
Oh, I rolled a 17 twice.
Wow.
That's a 19. That's +2.
You know that Warlockheed in Marvin is a subsidiary of a subsidiary of Astral Tech.
Great. Fucking corpse. All right. Because I recognize the model, do I get any good things on trying to start taking it apart?
What you know is that this is definitely an advanced piece of technology, and there, it's probably got some proprietary code, software, things like that kind of help it run. It's got some friend or foe mechanics that have been installed into it that are controlled by some sort of separate receiver. This needs to be controlled by some sort of computing device. That for sure. This is not something that can be sort of fired manually. It has to be. It's part of. You have to operate
so
it from a
essentially,
separate console.
If we wanted to use it as a weapon, just plain and out,
you'd have to
Lev would have to
find some
carry
way
it.
to. You'd have to essentially build and hook it up to a console to
and March would have to control it.
Yeah, it's an automated turret.
Okay. So that being said, as I see the wires, I'm gonna start taking the brackets off and any mechanical fixings. I'm gonna start taking off. But I'm
Make
gonna
me a check with your mechanics tools, please.
Oh yeah.
And we'll do Dex for the ability to tie to it, please.
Nice. And I have proficiency in these. So that's 10 plus 2 plus. You said Dex?
Yep.
3. So that's 15.
15. Okay, it's going to take you some time. These things are kind of fastened pretty tight, so You can spend the next 10 minutes trying to unfasten these things.
I relay the information to the group. This is gonna take me like 10 minutes, and I'm probably gonna need the hair to come up here if we want this done. How badly do we want an automated laser turret? And I know when I say that out loud, it sounds really cool. So I'm just asking for the group.
Yeah, I feel
we
like
could
that
go-
question answered itself.
Yeah, we could go check out the office while you unhook Doohickey.
Are you gonna leave the glowing monkey alone on the giant haunted ship?
No, I'm gonna hang out here because this shit amuses the hell out of me.
All right. As long as I have a buddy, I'm okay. Just don't leave me alone. He's cranking away. He's just fucking throwing
Okay.
the little nuts and bolts are like floating around him as he's just kind of tossing them.
Chum is now occupied. What are the rest of you doing? March said he's staying here to watch the show.
Yeah, that, and if he needs any technical support up there, I have a mage hand I can send up, and as long as he puts it on a home row, I could type things.
I will.
Nice.
I will then say to Lev and the rest of you who are sort of at ground level, because you've kind of walked in a little bit now here to this hallway. You can see that against the T intersection wall there are 2 elevator doors. There is a sign for stairs that goes off to the left, which would be to the east. And then there's arrows that are pointing to your right, which would be where you're facing. That would be the west. That say that they're labeled for med bay and comms.
I fucking knew it.
And then to the left, right there, beyond the elevators and the stairs, there are signs that are essentially saying. The signs pointing down say labs and utilities, and the signs that are pointing on the same floor, again, are pointing to offices, crew quarters, briefing room, mess hall, those types of things are all in that direction.
In the labs direction?
In the labs are downstairs, it appears, down a level. But then the rest of all the quarters and things like that.
Towards the
would be
stairs,
to
you're
the-
saying. Okay.
Yes, there's the hallway continues in both directions.
Okay.
Jam will turn to the group. Jam found utilities.
Yes, those appear to be downstairs as well.
Well, there's not a blinking light in here, is there?
Not a single one, no power. You can see that there are almost like LED strips, built into almost like the ceiling, where the wall meets the ceiling, like in the corners to kind of light up. You can see it both in the ceiling and in the floors, right where it would light the facility up, but the lights are dormant.
I feel like as one of the few people, that I can see that has dark vision.
Some of you have flashlights, I think,
go
too.
first.
I was wondering. I asked that earlier. I thought he
It's
gave
part
us
of your
them.
kits. Yeah,
Yeah.
you think about it, right? Like most of your starter kits came with torches if this was regular D&D. So your torch is
prefer
just
the
a fucking
glowing monkey.
flashlight now. So you know what I mean? That's
How far
that would be
does
the
that go?
equivalent. It would probably do the same as about it depends. Like if it was one of those if it was a mag light, it would be really far and and directed. The flashlights that you have are probably more just like a tactical flashlight, right? Something that would just illuminate a smaller space, wherever you're pointing it and looking, but not necessarily like 30 electric
feet?
lanterns. Unless I mean, check your inventories, right? Like I gave everyone a starter kit, so I guess
Sure.
see what you got. Some of you might have glow sticks, some of you might have flares, some of you might have flashlights. Just check and see what you got. And use that.
Pretty sure Jam has glow sticks.
But I guess my question is, are the rest of you going to continue to explore this facility, or are you going to wait for Chum to finish his business here? Do you, or at least maybe your immediate surroundings, right? Again, there's that security room right next to you that you'd actually still be able to see Chum at least.
Yeah, I'm glowing.
Yeah, Bru's just exhausted at this point, so he's just gonna kind of lean up against the wall, kind of wait on Chum.
Yeah, you can almost see that Brew is almost trying to catch his breath, which is weird, you know.
I'm just plumb tired.
I checked the door.
You need
the
anything?
security
You need.
office
I got
door.
some stuff. As he's like
Sorry.
talking through.
There was some cross chatter there. Lev, did you say you were checking the door?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. The door itself appears to be shut, like, you know, like stuck closed, and there's an access card reader, you know, unpowered next to it.
Okay. Charge this up. See if we can open this door. I think we have a little battery joint, don't we?
You do.
Is that a
Some, you know-
limited use thing?
I
Yes.
mean, yes, batteries do have a limited lifespan to them, so, you know,
Well, I
you have
don't
to pick
know.
and choose.
I don't know if it was like
you
a
had
little
to pick and
crank, you know?
No, but there is no, it's not one of those. Essentially, it's just like a portable handheld battery you just clamp, you know, like clamp some cables to jump something with. It's almost like almost picture just like a car battery, except it's not for a car. It's just a general, like, you know, portable battery. I will say that there is, like, you know, on the portable batteries themselves, there is like a little like LED light that kind of just indicates, like, you know, it's battery life. So there is a clear visual indicator of its current, like, capacity.
If I try to nudge the door a little, does it move at all?
I mean, there's the slight, like, maybe like jiggle, as, again, this door is not powered, so maybe some of the electronic mechanisms that would have been keeping it closed
Yeah.
aren't necessarily engaged. However, any of the physical sort of, you know, mechanics and things that would be holding this door closed are still very much in place. Like, there's a little bit
I
of
guess it doesn't move.
movement, but it does feel stuck. Like, you'd have to like really use your strength to try to force this door open, or, you know, maybe try to jam something in there to kind of pry it or help, you know, if you have like a crowbar or something like that. You might be able to get it into, like, the jam and kind of, again, it's in one of those doors that just slides into the wall, right? Like an automated door
Mhm.
that would probably just like open if you were to slide a key card in front of it when this place had power.
Jam would like to disengage his mag boots. And how would aggressive tobogganing work in space?
Good question.
In zero gravity, if you could launch yourself off of something, you would just use whatever movement is offered from aggressive tobogganing, you know, to move in a straight line up to that movement speed. But you'd have to press yourself off of something. You're not going to be sliding on anything except for just, again, air.
That's kind of what I thought. All right.
Yeah.
But he's just going to
Love the
float
thought,
up
though. Love the thought.
towards Choom and try to use his machete to cut the cables.
It's just gonna just slice through the wires.
Literally, Choom's like got his little, because he has a MP3 player. That's my thing that I brought. So he's like got music in, bolt here, nut there. Looks to his left, thinks nothing of it. Looks again and just sees a floating fucking penguin man with a machete just coming straight for him.
Yep.
Yeah, what do you do?
Whoa! What's the plan for stopping there, big boy? He's gonna hold up his hand and just like, wait. How does one stop?
I mean, when you
Touch
touch something,
Okay. All
something
right.
that you could then provide an opposite force off of.
I just didn't
to-
like the smile you had on your face when he was like, I'm flying towards Choom with a machete.
It's more just because he just wants to, slash these cables off. You know what I mean? It's just great.
Would I be able to tell that's not a good idea or not? Can I
I don't know.
investigate the cord or the wires to see if they're important or not?
I guess tell me instead, how else were you planning to sever the cables that are also anchoring this, into the ceiling?
I was going to either do it myself where like you cut the wires, but you leave enough wire that you can reattach the wires to something if you want later, or get March up here with the mage hand to tell me or which ones don't matter and which ones do. That was gonna be my
tell
You
you,
have to cut all of them.
They all matter to a certain degree because you would have to cut all of them to detach this thing.
right. But like that's all I was gonna do.
Okay. Well, Jam Jam's coming to assist with that. Do you let him just machete the cables off?
He's flying through the air with machete. Is let an option here?
Yeah, I was gonna
Well,
say
I
like
mean,
I don't really feel like I have a choice.
Jam Jam has the agency to, slash or just be like, hey, where do you want me to cut this? You know what I'm saying? Like there is a it's not just that he's flying towards us with a machete, so therefore they are cut.
We've
right?
all
Like, there
been
is a
living with Jam
sequence
Jam
of actions.
We've lived with Jam Jam for a while now. We
Jam
all
Jam, would
know
you-
Jam Jam does.
Yeah,
Jam
Jam, would you
is-
slice first and ask questions later?
No, well, not necessarily. But Jam Jam would say, "You will thank Jam Jam later," and then he'll try to cut them closest to the ceiling, recognizing that the intention is that
Make
they
me a
use
melee
them.
attack roll with your machete.
Oh, fuck. John, don't roll a 1. For the love of God.
March is now hovering up there next to the rest of everybody.
Oh,
floating
great.
in the
More
air
people to
with
be
the
in
mage
imminent
hand.
danger.
Mage hand is holding him by the back of his collar.
Oh my God. Mage hand, I guess, lifting something that weighs that much means nothing in weightlessness, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes. All I need is for
I
that
hate
little
that.
bit of drive
I
to move
fucking
me around.
hate that.
Jam Jam?
I hate the implications of this.
Jam Jam, I'm going to put a hand on your shoulder, and I'm going to go, all right, bud, right there. And I'm going to cast guidance.
All right. Add a D4 to your attack roll, Jam Jam.
Yeah.
For a machete for slashing, that's strength, right?
A machete is kind of
Yeah.
like I would consider that like almost like a scimitar. So I think that is
Dex.
finesse. So you can choose to use dex if your dex is higher.
Oh, okay. And then I add a +4 to that, or D4 to that.
A D4 to that, whatever your roll was.
Okay, that's
know,
only a
anywhere.
9 still.
Oh my! What the fuck did you roll?
7.
7. Well, you rolled a 7, but you also get right. It's an attack roll, right? So that's you add your dex to that, and you add your proficiency to that.
Oh, okay, so it's 11.
Yeah. Okay.
But he's gonna keep hacking at it regardless until it actually falls off.
I mean, yeah, it's not a clean cut, but you do get through them. They're just a little bit frayed at the ends, but I'm sure with some doctoring you can splice these cables.
Yeah, that's
together.
fine.
Someone, yeah, okay. So the cables have been severed, and after a few more minutes, you've detached this turret, and we're just kind of floating there, weightless.
Nice.
Mission success. I'm going to try and kick it towards where
ground?
the ship is. Well, yeah,
you
downward
weigh
and
significantly less than this turret. You're going in the opposite direction.
Perfect.
Yeah, you're gonna be pushing yourself off of, I guess.
Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, unless you can anchor himself to the U bracket, right, and then push. That would work. I would allow that.
I will
push it towards
yeah.
the ship. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going to do.
I get on the
100%.
horn hello. Listen, we are sending package over to you right now. So can you grab that in I don't know, 30 seconds maybe?
Are you going to make me roll for the kick?
No,
Okay,
it's
cool.
fine. But you see it. Okay, so you managed to get it through the doors, and as soon as it crosses through the doors and then a few feet in, it just hits the ground as it enters the gravity envelope for the ship.
Yeah, take care of that for us, bud. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. That is nice.
Okay, so there's
gonna
just a piece of there's essentially the turret part of an automated turret that's just on the ground somewhere near the ship or in the hangar bay.
I hope
Am
Jeff
I
is gonna
high
get
enough
that,
up
like I said that.
that if I turn my mag boots on now, that it would be bad?
I mean, it would hurt a little bit, right? It's about 20 feet to the ceiling, so I'm going to say that's 1d6 for every 10 feet you fall.
Okay, so real quick,
So-
this is a question. With simulated mag boot gravity, does it act as if gravity, like Earth gravity, or is it like?
It simulates whatever whatever 1G would be in this, in our universe.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn my mag boots on, and then I'm going to glide to the ground. Because
Glide to the ground?
Hadizes
It's
have
happening.
you
a
have
racial
the-
feature.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
if I
yeah,
fall
yeah,
from
yeah.
above 10 feet, I can glide.
Sounds good. That sounds great.
Alright.
It feels awkward though, so you still kind of hit the ground with a thud, but you take no damage.
Oh shit. Okay. I've been wanting to do that for a while. Spread my wings, so to speak.
Jam Jam is headed towards the utilities section.
Okay, well, the utilities again were pointing towards the stairs, so you would pass the elevators and are walking towards the stairs. You can see ahead of you is where the crew quarters are, and there's a hallway that then also goes to the left, which goes up north. And then, to your right, on the southern wall, there are the 2 elevator doors that are shut, and then the stairs. Looking at the stairs, however, you see that the stairwell itself has collapsed.
Of course.
Well, that's not good.
March will, until it is no longer convenient, be propelling himself around solely by mage hand, hovering
That
at
sounds
about
good.
6 inches above the ground.
And staring at a collapsed stairwell with a mage hand hovering March. We're going to call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast right here. And just leave the exploration of this facility for the next several episodes.
What a cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm. Well, I got to find another way downstairs. May have to figure out some other methods,
so
some
many
other
ways.
things. So before that, though, if you like us, you could find us on the internet. We are on all sorts of places, but we've collated all of the places that you can find us on the internet into one particular place on the internet called our link tree. It's just linktree.ee/haplessheroes. It's got links to all of our social media accounts, our podcast homepage, our merch store, our fan-run wiki, and the crown jewel of our internet presence, our Discord server, where you can talk and interact with us on a daily basis. We talk about all of our episodes that are, that we do. We are hosting listening parties in there every so often for different campaign milestones and or whenever we just decide we want to hang out with our listeners and listen to an episode together. We talk about all kinds of stuff in there. We'd encourage you to join our community. It's definitely the best place to actually interact with us, and it's just a cool place to hang out. But if you really, really like us, you can leave us a 5-star review or rating on the podcast service of your choice. All of those help us just gain more visibility to the show and get more people listening and checking us out. And, if your podcast service doesn't let you leave a 5-star review, but you still want to say some nice words, you can also leave them in the 5-star channel in our Discord or email us haplessheroes@gmail.com. I just wanted to do a quick shout out to NadNerb, who has been emailing us at our Gmail account, just talking about the show, asking questions, and just saying in general, hello. Shout out, dude. Thank you for all of the nice things you said about us. Thank you for being a listener for so long. And, this is just your personal shout out. Thanks for reaching out to us. But yeah, again, encourage you to do that. But if you don't want that, and you still want to show your support and love for us, well, if you really, really, really like us, we have a Patreon page. It's just patreon.com/haplessheroes. We have a whole bunch of rewards, almost everything really living at the $5 tier, shining roles in our Discord server, bloopers, behind-the-scenes audio, bonus content and episodes and things that don't really fit within our normal episode cycle. Just whatever we can kind of think of to give back to you. We're still working through, creating more merch options within there as well, so that, for long-time donors, there's another way that we can kind of give you some free stuff, that kind of goes along with your donations. So keep an eye out for all those things. And yeah, just patreon.com/haplessheroes. See if it's right for you. Now that I've done my spiel, the last thing I really have to do is outro my wonderful cast for you, starting in reverse order with Sebastian as Shum Deloom.
Hell yeah, glowing monkey!
Nicole as Glorp Glup Glup.
Do you think there's still snacks in the mess hall?
Mike as Brunner Brew Blitzbore.
I'm so weak I could barely whip a gnat.
Lewis as Lev Zangief.
That turret is going to look good at the house.
John as Jam Jam.
Until next time.
And Dave as March.
Yeah, good night, everybody.
And I'm Francesco, I've been your host and DM. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Boop, 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 boop.